3, 2.
What we have to confront is a deep, systemic, and structural restructuring of our world. And this will take some time. And the world will look differently after we have gone through this transition process. Politically, the driving forces for this political transformation, of course, is the transition into a multipolar world, which has a tendency to make our world much more fragmented.
Really makes you think. All right, I'm Hector, and I'm here with Gilbert. Hope everyone's doing good this... Wait,
Let me turn to the...
Don't autoplay. Hope everyone's doing good this evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's doing epic. How you been going, Gil?
Pretty damn good. Yep, everything's going fine.
Yeah, hope everyone's having a good start to their weekend. We got some interesting topics to cover. The biggest one and funniest one being the closure of Newshub. Who should have seen this coming? It's sort of interesting, eh? Because the government gave them their bribe 3-4 years ago. The public interest, what was it? The Public Journalism Fund or whatever the heck it was. And literally, as soon as that money runs out, all these companies start going broke. So it's unfortunate. As soon as you stop giving the Jews at Oak Tree Capital and Warner Brothers money, they suddenly don't want anything to do with it. It's not profitable because no one watches this crap.
Yeah, so quick to cut them off, eh?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. They get millions of dollars, and then 3 years later, they're like, I need more shekels, Goyim, or I'm going to shut it down.
That's exactly what they're like. Yeah. They, it's pretty amazing. It's just straight to the woodshed after, if they can't produce enough shekels. But of course, they have to get the ratings, right? And they have to get advertiser revenue. So if they're not getting that, then they kind of have to. If an arm of business is atrophying and no longer produces, then there's not much point having them around. So we're going to look actually at a lot more of that. But this is particularly interesting because this is such a big facet of New Zealand media, unfortunately. But here we are. So break out your champagne glasses and bottles, buddy. That's
The thing is, Newshub is the news branch of TV3, a major television station. Whole station's owned by Warner Brothers now, but it's interesting. So now I guess the station's just going to show reruns of The Deadliest Catch and American Pickers, just boomer reality TV shows.
Yeah, boomer reality TV.
That's all people use it for. I mean, Boomer's the only one watching the news anyway. I don't know anyone under the age of 40 that actually watches the news.
Yeah, I really like that boomer reality TV. That's and welcome to the boomer reality TV show. Yeah,
someone looks at product and buys product, and that's half of boomer reality TV.
That's what boomers get excited about. Oh my gosh, I got these motorcycle wheels at the shop.
You wouldn't believe
it. It's kind of sad.
That describes half of these American reality TV channels, American Trash Divers or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That is good. That is very, very, very aptly put, Hector. But
it's like that and British. What is it? British.
Bake
game
Off
shows. Oh yeah, game shows and competition shows, and the prize money is always $2. I always thought that was sort of strange with these British TV competitions or whatever you want to call them. Game shows. I don't know why I forgot that word. These British game shows, and the prize is $2, and I'm like, it seems a bit low.
yeah, it's that's weird. It's and they get 2 shillings, and they go off their nut about over 2 shillings or whatever.
Whoa, you won 2 shillings.
It's kind of. Yeah, I don't know if that's a humiliation thing or what. I don't know.
Well, I mean, sometimes they don't even win anything. There's that one show where half the time, the contestants don't even win anything. So it's hey, this is why do these people even bother showing up? You the best case scenario, you're going to win £2. Worst case scenario, you don't even win anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're just really starved for TV attention. Like,
Yeah,
I
true,
don't know,
true,
but
true. But
mm,
yeah,
mm,
there you go. Newshub,
mm,
parent company, former Water Bros Discovery. It was formerly owned by Oak Tree Capital, which also still owns a lot of radio stations and it's a couple TV stations.
mm,
But yeah, Oak Tree sold them off to Warner Brothers, and only 3 years later, Warner Brothers is shutting it down. No one
mm.
wants to listen to like the guys saying like "Oh Kai Mai Kamamai" or whatever the heck they say on the TV. Welcome to Jews Hub.
Yeah,
Today we're going to be
Pokey.
doing a haka for Israel or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I mean, it kind of makes me wonder, what's their next move? Like, because they can't stop indoctrinating the goyim. They have to do that. That's like one of their main weapons against us. I mean, they understand that. So it's like, what's going to take the place, or how are they going to fill that void? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still have TVNZ, but as we'll get to, TVNZ is also in dire straits. Like TVNZ is gonna, you know, pick up whatever's left, I guess. So we're
Mm,
pretty much going back to all this media being state owned now because it's just not profitable.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't see how they can have any way out of this, really.
Well,
I
the
mean,
only oh
yeah,
sorry,
go.
the only media that's profitable is like stuff like this. I mean, to be fair, we don't make any money, but we don't lose any money either. So we're doing
Mm.
better than Newshub and TVNZ.
Yeah, pretty much. Just two guys, just
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
slinging it. Yeah.
but that's the thing. The only profitable media these days are like talk shows like this where people call in and it doesn't rely on advertisers and
Mm.
it's a better time back to journalism.
Yeah, and it's getting all the views. I mean, you look at some of these streamers, it's like it's pretty insane how many people people like even people like Mr. Beast, and it's
Mr.
not even
Beast.
yeah. There's obviously no news contained in that, but like
I mean,
he
it
has
is
a much
media.
greater
It's
following,
not news, but it is
and in
media.
the article they actually mention that we have to go more digital and we have to make digital more of a priority is apparently their conclusion to all of this. But it's like, well, I think that could be coded language a little bit, because it's like, well, it's not really the fact that it's people are going on. I mean, it is sort of like people might be more comfortable online than watching the TV, but it's more like, people don't trust you
I
guys,
mean,
so
this
they
is
have
already
to go.
digital. I'm looking up their
Mm.
like website right now. So how is this not digital? It doesn't make sense. How do you
Yeah,
go more digital?
exactly. I don't know what more they can do on top of that to make it. Maybe allocate more of their funds to. Yeah, I don't get that exactly myself, but yeah, I mean this is why people have flocked to online alternate sources. That's the operative word here.
Oh
Alternate
no.
news agencies. Yeah.
200 journalists are going to have to learn to code. It's
Oh
time.
yes. They're gonna, yeah, yeah. Definitely break out the champagne bottles for that, guys. I mean, we
And look,
really,
this weird goblin thing is losing his job. Be sad about it.
yeah, yeah, and his goblina sister. But yeah, I don't actually know what her deal is.
I don't
But
know. It's
yeah,
just
I think she's like a reptile or something. She admitted that one episode of Jews Hub. But yeah, but
well, I mean, Patrick Gower is losing a job, so you can definitely celebrate about that. That's a
yeah,
massive win.
that's awesome. All these people are just like by New Zealanders, like just doing nothing and going, I'd rather
Yeah,
watch
actually, yeah,
Boomer
I'm
reality.
not gonna tune into this. Actually, I'm just
Mm,
gonna not tune
tune
in.
out.
Just gonna
Yeah,
not listen. And then the whole thing collapses, which is pretty hilarious.
yeah, yeah. And so it's like it's not all like good things happen, guys, and be optimistic. And
Oh, I
our
mean, this is a
enemies'
massive white
demise.
pill. This is a massive win. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
you saw. I mean, remember back to like 2021, and like these companies were constantly shilling like lockdowns, vaccine, my safety, my fifth team of 6 million, all that sort of shit.
Yeah, yeah. Just
But it's like, yeah, they're getting their comeuppance. I mean, how much people lost their jobs like indirectly because of the amount of shilling these people did. I mean, there's like they would literally write hit articles. It's like this doctor said the vaccine was bad. He should lose
mm,
his license. So these like absolute human trash, modern journalists for these like corporate media,
mm,
absolute
mm.
scum. So It's great
Yeah.
that all these people, Patrick Gower, whatever this like Goblin Man names is, they're all losing their
Yeah.
jobs. And it's
Mm.
good. Hopefully they're destitute for the rest of their lives. So that's what I can say.
Well, they tried to do that to the New
Yeah,
Zealand people, didn't
exactly,
they? I mean,
exactly. They tried to make us all destitute at the
mm,
government's behest and the big capital's behest, the banking's behest, the
mm,
big farmers' behest. They wanted the
mm,
average person to be absolutely destitute,
mm,
and
mm.
now it's happening to them. So
Yeah.
hopefully they do not get new jobs, and hopefully they stay destitute for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, all of them, including the 200 journalists selling out their country, traitors to the average New Zealander.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's exactly it. It's people are like
Mm,
absolute traitors. I
mm,
hope they're destitute. I hope they never get back on their feet. I hope they become homeless. I hope they lose all of their assets. I hope they lose any sort of. I hope they don't get any future income.
mm,
So
mm,
they're really just getting their comeuppance. Like, it's just the way it
mm.
is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's what happens when you shill for a bio weapon, essentially. I'd just say another thing on top of that is like really watch the space, guys. I mean this is a very interesting development that has been developing over the past
A
couple of
couple of
years. But
months, yeah, years, because I mean they had to get the big bribe from the government because they were just hemorrhaging money. And
mm,
as soon as the government stops giving them millions of dollars every year,
mm,
they
mm.
almost instantly start shutting down.
Yeah, and you're right. You're completely right. It's accelerated over especially over the past couple of months, and now here we are. But yeah, the reason why I stress, watch the space, is because I guess from a just zooming out a little bit further, geopolitically, what could happen as a result of this? What other group of people could take their place? Could it be a foreign government, perhaps, or connections to that? Or I mean,
Um,
the way that these are operating, they're essentially already alien entities. But
well, I mean,
the
it's
way
already
I
owned
see
by
it,
Warner Brothers, and
mm,
I mean, they're owned by Zionist Jews, so it's already
that's
like
right.
foreign owned, like for extremely alien people already own this
Mm. And
this branch of the media anyway.
yeah, and it's going to be. I mean, looking at the kind of, I guess, what would you call it, the news industry scape, and I guess the kind of business scape abroad in general. It's that they're all kind of alien to Westerners and alien to Western interests. They're completely opposed to us as white Western people. So that's just something to consider. And I would just say look very carefully at how this develops, because you never know what could come around the corner. Really, I don't know what they're planning to pull next, but
Yeah,
it could be something where they're a lot more. They notice the change. I mean, because a lot of these people are incompetent, but there's got to be some smart people who will redirect this
I
somehow,
mean, of
I'd
course they're going
imagine.
to try to. I mean, they're going to start
Mm,
shilling for. I mean, I think they're just going to start like the government's going to just try fill the void. I mean, if TV3 collapses, which it seems like it very well is,
mm,
I mean, you still got the government-owned media branches like TVNZ, radio, TV on air, New
mm,
Zealand on air, that sort of thing. That's all owned by the government.
mm,
And I
mm,
mean, what you if like when you get a Labor or Greens whatever government back in power, which will probably happen eventually. I mean, let's not delude ourselves.
mm.
They're just going to give these people like hundreds of millions of dollars of your
Oh
money
yeah,
again to prop them up.
propaganda. Yeah, so I think whatever comes in, we're nowhere near our goal of like complete ethnocentric.
Complete media death.
Yeah,
Total media death.
yeah, and also the replacements of that with something good, something that actually represents us and our
Yeah.
interests as a people. So I'm not trying to black pill or anything, but yeah, it's just something to look at
It's like,
and
come on,
something to
dude. Stop
consider.
trying to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, buddy.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we should fill in. Maybe Endeavour News should. We can convince Greens, Marmara, Star of Davidson, to give us hundreds of billions to start Endeavour News up. It could
I
be
think
you and me sitting
we'd
there.
have to start doing huckers and stuff to get any sort of
Oh,
funding from the Greens.
that'd actually be kind of funny. We could do our own guess the. No, sorry. Okay. I'll
So,
shut
well,
up.
on the topic, I mean, we sort of mentioned TVNZ, but yeah, they're also in very dire straits. If TVNZ wasn't owned by the government, that would be like in a worse state of collapse than TV3 and Newshub.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's so this is happening across the board, and this was a day ago. Um,
Just look at that, over $15 million loss for the financial year. I mean, that's basically probably all the money they got from Jacinda. They've already lost it all. It's already gone down the toilet.
Yeah, and their adrenochrome rituals and God knows what else. But yeah, so I mean, this looks like it's happening across the board, and yeah, good day. Make sure to rub it in on Twitter if you're on there.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I wish the absolute worst for these people.
Yeah. No, they are scumbags. Like
They are like
give them nothing but your contempt.
Corporate journalists are like legitimately worse than politicians. They're absolute scum. They're like the worst scum in existence. I mean, they're maybe not as bad as bankers, but they're pretty close.
Oh yeah, they're their own form of criminal. I think in ages past they would have been considered guilty of high treason.
Oh,
if
that's
you
the
think
thing.
about all the lies they perpetuate.
If we had a sane government, yeah, these people would be like labeled as traitors.
Yeah. Literally traitors, literally high treason, and because what they're saying is just so monumentally false and wrong, and have led to all kinds of terrible complications for people. You know, people have lost their lives and lost jobs, and and lost their
thousands and
their
thousands
health.
of people. Like, they're
Yeah.
responsible for the thousands of deaths from I guess cookie dough. I guess we say because it's somehow on YouTube still. Like cookie dough deaths and people becoming destitute because they didn't want to take the cookie dough, didn't want to eat the cookie dough. It is what it is. So yeah, I am elated. I am enlightened and elated. I'm enlightened by my own intelligence that these people are losing their jobs.
Yeah, what do they call it? I'm euphoric.
Yeah, I'm euphoric. I'm enlightened by my own intelligence. Mate, I'm tipping my fedora. I'm so enlightened right now. Tipping my cowboy hat.
Yeah. So this is great, and time to celebrate, and never let up. If they do come with something to replace these people, just don't watch them. TV is so controlled. How could you ever trust any of these people ever again? I mean, dinosaur media is looking forward. It's going to be online news. I don't see how.
Yeah, no one watches TV anymore. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, even just that, like, even if they're being honest, you know, how are they gonna? Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people watch reality check radio, but
a fair bit.
Yeah.
Probably more than watch. Well, it's going to be more people than watch Newshub. There's going to be more people watching Endeavour News than watch Newshub in the next 2 months because the people that watch Newshub will go to zero.
Yeah. True. We're more successful than them, just two guys just hanging out. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. We finally. It reminds me of the Taliban. You know, when America just started packing up and leaving. You know, we're kind of like the Taliban, and we're just like, okay, goodbye. Like we didn't have to do anything, and now
just have to sit around and do nothing, and then just media collapses. Like corporate media just completely collapses on its own.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. It's pretty, and this is like how we start our own parallel economy. You know, our enemies will wither and die because of their sin and lies. And
the parallel media is actually probably one of the more successful branches of the parallel society. I mean, you've got like Reality Check Radio in New Zealand. I mean, there's some pretty good guys on there. It's obviously way better than like Newshub and Jews Hub and whatever, NZ Herald, all that crap. So more people watch that, or should be watching that, and will be watching that. More people will be watching stuff like that, stuff like this, and these media stations. Because for if you know, if they actually like had to operate on a profitable basis and actually make money, they wouldn't exist because they can't make money. Like their model is like outdated, like fundamentally outdated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, their model and the way they go about presenting the so-called news, people don't want to spin. They just
Yeah.
want it how it is.
It's
They
like going
want.
back to a horse and cart after like the invention of like the diesel engine. It's just not going to happen. People aren't going to go back to these like ancient media platforms.
No, no, yeah, no, not gonna happen. So, in this article, I think they say, yeah, they talk about a trading environment has seen a significant reduction, and they also talk about going more digital. But that's
Again, what
not
does that
really.
even mean? Like,
Yeah, what does that mean?
we got Greatest Ally Israel in chat. He actually mentions that. He says digital is much easier to retroactively change in memory hole. That is true. Like
Mhm.
these people delete articles, edit articles all the time.
Mm,
So
mm, mm. Yeah, well, that's actually another. So that's actually an angle I didn't think of. That's another kind of propaganda technique that they use, just like almost like Stalin and the Soviet Union deleting people out of photographs.
yeah, well, they
That
can do that much easier now. You don't even have to get anyone to stitch photos together. They can just go in Photoshop and get an AI to do it, or just like literally delete a sentence in an article, like
yeah,
delete someone's name out of an article or something. Like it's just the way
abs-
it is.
absolutely, and I think they're actually very cognizant and aware of how people can use their library of lies that they build up against them when future information comes up from an alternate news source, whatever that may be. And eventually, you like in a few years or a couple of months or weeks or days, comes back to screw them, and people said, "Well, you said this," so that's something I think they've saw as a weakness, and so that yeah, that's probably what they actually mean. That's probably actually one of the main reasons. Actually, they want to quote unquote go digital so they can just be bigger liars than they already are. But I mean, you
Exactly.
always got the mighty screen cap.
The
You can
mighty
never
screen cap and the mighty archive.is, whatever it's called.
Yeah, true. They're still boomers at heart. You can tell they still
Yeah.
don't understand these things. Anything but to tell the truth. Good on you, TVNZ and Jews Hub. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Jews, Sir Juki reveals his prediction for the housing market. I thought this was an interesting article because basically you just have like John Key going like full on mask off, saying he
Mm,
predicts in the next 10 years house prices will double again because of mass migration. He says it
mm.
here. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
as interest rates go down, house prices will go up, which is true because of our
Mm,
current system. And then he also mentioned that
mhm.
they remove it. It happened in real time.
There you go.
Oh my god, they actually removed it.
What did he
He
say?
mentioned that
Uh-huh.
that like mass migration is inflating house prices, but they've taken that out of the article.
Just go Control F and then go mass migration.
Put in population. Maybe they changed it.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm just stupid. New Zealand's a small country and we have a rising population. Net migration is pretty positive most years, so that adds to demand. Like, it's pretty
Mm,
crazy that, like, I remember back in like 2017, like you'd have like shills for the National and Labour Party going like, no,
mm,
no,
mm,
Goyim. What mass migration doesn't affect the cost of living. It's good for
mm,
us all. Diversity is our strength. They
mm,
work the jobs that you don't want to work.
mm,
But
mm,
it's sort of interesting just to have like Juki. I mean, he obviously knew this back when he was prime minister. It's
mm,
like, yeah, we
mm,
just need to have like more mass migration, and house prices will continue going up, and landlords, banks, and
mm.
financiers will all get to make money while everyone else suffers.
Yeah. That's precisely it in a nutshell, and that's all people. Even people like John Key just live in a completely different world to the average New Zealander. I hope people understand that, and that's all that they're really concerned about. To be honest, they don't really seem to care about much else. Whereas actual New Zealanders that I've met, actually are still very down to earth.
I mean, most New Zealanders are already concerned with the level of
Wow.
mass migration, the cost
Mm,
of housing and inflation going up, where we could just have like Juki here going, no, it's good that it's going, it will go up because of mass migration, and that's a good thing.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, you look around and it's like they're already responding to the fact that people, that like I've seen some funny things around. Like they're building like these sardine tin can apartments around, like real budget looking square blocky looking things, like as if they made them out of Legos.
Yeah.
And there are all these like Arabs and like people from the
Oh yeah, they look
subcontinent.
horrible.
Yeah, and they're just filling.
They look like cinder
not
blocks. They're
not
really
the
bad looking.
houses, not the houses. The people. Oh
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, oh, yeah, no,
well, yeah,
both.
true. They both
It's
look horrible.
sort of
But
true for both. But yeah, those like houses that look like cinder blocks, and they're really ugly, and they just put them wherever, and it's like medium density houses, and all the Arabs and Pajites and Chinese just go, oh, me buy a house, me rich now, or something, me own asset.
yeah, but
It's like
basically,
a
yeah.
total. It's like an actual. They're living in a cinder block. It's like, mate,
Yeah.
we are not the same. We aren't bug people like you. I don't want to be living in a cinder block.
Exactly, and that's the whole problem. Their entire concept of living is just completely different to the New Zealand way of life and how
Yeah.
that was meant to be. A free and open and beautiful country, where you can really have dignity as a human and not simulate a prisoner block style lifestyle, which is what they're turning it into. It's actually quite startling how quickly that transformation is happening. New Zealand never had this brutalist sort of communist style of architecture. It never really happened anywhere. It's only now.
Yeah, it's only
really.
now that you have mass migration and mass housing demand and unaffordable housing that you have, like, commie blocks, tiny houses, aka they're basically just like trailer park. I always thought that was funny. Like tiny houses, it's just literally like rebranding a trailer. Like,
yeah,
like those are already tiny houses. Like, how's a tiny house just not a trailer? Like living in a trailer.
Yeah, it's like a fancy trailer, basically. It's like how they have glamping instead of camping, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's any way to just LARP, I guess. But yeah, I mean, one other thing I will say, just on that note, we pretty much, I guess, have to become like basically almost single issue voters now, because like the mass migration is like
Well, it's the issue.
main effect. Yeah, it's the main thing ruining our country, basically. So whatever party is the most, I guess, what would you say, radical? Maybe even
Yeah,
that.
more radical on immigration. So that, net zero migration, no migration, repatriating like foreign nationals back to like Bongo land or wherever they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to like vote for that, like the most radical one possible, because mass migration is literally the factor destroying our economy, and it has been for decades at this point, since the 80s, since they opened up New Zealand to migration from Asia. Things like housing has just continued to get more and more unaffordable, and it will continue doing it if we are under this current system. And so you're gonna like the two main issues here are mass migration. That's issue number one. Issue number two is like banking, like well, I mean, this is a pipe dream, but the banking system needs to be overthrown as well, but one step at a time. Mass migration is probably easier for people to handle.
Yeah, and even though we've got 3 years of this stuff under Luxon and Seymour, with Winston trying to pull them back, I mean, things are still.
Like,
yeah, maybe.
Been in government 3 times, and the mass migration's just continued to get worse. Even when he's in government, when he's out of government, it just seems to just always get worse.
Well, yeah, sure. It's kind of it's really up to the New Zealand people at this point to realize that these people aren't playing a game. They're serious about flooding us, and within these 3 years we have to act now, and actually do something about it and get national and act. Actually, we've got to apply pressure to these politicians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically,
you need to bring up mass migration in conversations when people talk about like increases in housing, increases in inflation, increases in cost of living. Always bring up mass migration. Like it's the issue.
I would actually, to appeal to kind of apolitical normies who are, nominally, that they're automatically liberals. I would actually, that's a really good take, Hector, is to, start off with the housing and then say, well, the main reason why is we can't sustain this level of people coming in. So that's how you kind of talk to normies about it. Of course, we see it from a different angle, right? We see it from what it's most fundamentally important, where it's most fundamentally important. But of course, you could, for the sort of I don't know, I guess people who have their blinders on, and we all know them, you can start off with that. Like, inflation is rising, housing is becoming too competitive. Same with the job market, and you can spin it any way you want. But
and link to this article where you've got Juki just admitting to it.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, he's just saying, destroy the Goyim, But I mean, this is where that Zealandia Heritage Foundation could actually come in quite handy.
Yeah,
With,
well, we need to get, I mean, us, others need to get more active on Twitter as soon as like some like retard, like libtard
yeah,
journalist, politician, spastic, shill, Jew,
yes,
whatever, brings up
yes.
like inflation, be like, well, we could stop inflation and cost of living overnight if we just stop bringing in 100,000 Bajeets every year.
Yeah, exactly. I completely. Oh,
And
were you going to continue that?
oh,
Sorry.
no, I
Yeah,
was
go,
just
go,
gonna
go.
go, and then they'll just go, no, Goyim, diversity is our strength. No, Goyim.
Yeah, and we basically just have to keep hitting them with the same thing over and over again until they go, okay, Goyim, fine, but we're still going to inflate your currency, and then we
Yeah,
can
then,
attack
then
them
we
on
then
that.
we can go onto the issue of banking.
Yeah, absolutely, and everything else in between. But I think you raised something really important. That it's like we talk about these issues, and it's like really important. But it's like, yeah, we don't have like a voice or an avenue or an organization in which to, you know, produce sort of voice these concerns to everyone and actually be on the attack. And I think that ZHF and Reality Check Radio are kind of like good, initial mediums
Yeah,
to be able, and Twitter, of course, where we can actually have our own anti-mass migration Twitter squads. That's
yeah, the
essentially.
Australians do it pretty successfully. You've got Joel Davis pretty successfully like
Mm.
BTFOing politicians on Twitter like every day.
Yeah,
Goes,
well,
no,
that's what
you're a
we need to
shill.
do.
Like every single time some
Yeah,
shill or like I said before, spastic liberal politician shill
yeah.
Jew goes on Twitter and says something retarded.
Mm.
Joel Davis is always like comes up with a good response where he's like, yeah, you're a shill and here's why.
And that's what we all need to do. We all probably need to have a Twitter account and just bomb these people. Oh, sorry, sorry, not bomb. We need to spam. Sorry, excuse me. I want to be careful with my language. Yeah, fuck. So that was honestly, I almost slipped up. We need to mass spam these people like uh,
We need to do more online harassment. Basically, there was
yeah,
they're like
oh
you
yeah,
know Golrez the other day said, "Oh, the reason I stole $6 million worth of goods from the store was online harassment." Online
yeah.
harassment of politicians is just way too low. We need to get those numbers
Mm.
up. We need to get them into the 6 million-fold increase of harassment of politicians online.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's basically, honestly, that's the way out of this. Like, you can attend. We could organize, public meetings with politicians and attend those and stuff. But really, this is the most easy. It's all online. I think Jonathan Bowden said the same thing, that the new right will emerge online, and I think that's where the power is. That's where it's all
Yeah,
going.
and it's going to
So
be more and more online as these legacy media
hacks. Yeah.
hacks, shills,
Yeah.
despots like get absolutely
Yeah.
blown the frick out.
Yeah, exactly.
Metaphorically again, not actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, okay. Oof. But yeah, so I mean, I know some of you guys out there like have really, like, some of the guys watching this even probably right now, like, you guys, I've seen some of you guys, you have like massive Twitter followings, like 2 to 3 to like 5K people following you on Twitter. So I mean, freaking, comment if Golrez or Marma, Star of Davidson or Luxon, if they're fucking talking mad shit online, just fucking go, nah, you guys are gay and you're queer. Or say, to be serious for a moment, say like, yeah, well, what are you doing about the mass migration? Because this is the main reason why, we're having a housing and a job competition problem, and
yeah,
you're
so
driving down wages. Yeah.
yeah, I was actually
This
about
is
to
where
say
it
that.
starts, people. This is where it starts. This is our new public square. All the boomers are at home. Or they're not in tomes yet, but yeah. I mean, we got to do this while we have the racist energy of the boomers. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
The,
I don't tune into reality check radio too much, but I wonder
mm,
what like most of their
yeah,
I don't know what to call it, board staff
yeah,
platform thinks of mass
sure.
migration because it is the
Mm,
issue that we really need to push on, and then after we get some wins
yeah.
here, stop mass migration to New Zealand, then we can start going after the banking system. which is going
Yeah,
to be a bit tougher. That's going to be like the hard one.
but
This
if we
will
can,
be easier
yeah.
in comparison. This will be way easier in comparison.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the next kind of wall that we have to break down. After the media has gone down, we need to break this immediately. Like we need to do it right now. We need to
Yeah.
basically, I mean, and spread the word, guys. Spread the word to all your right wing Twitter friends, and maybe even talk to liberals about it and say,
Talk
you
to
know,
everyone. Talk to anyone that
talk to
brings
anybody.
up cost of living. Just mention it because it's true.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
literally
Yeah.
true, and John Key admits to it. So
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, there are. So I mean, this is the front we really. And reality check radio. We could even. They're maybe slightly adjacent to us, but even they could provide an avenue to which we could really hammer on. Basically, just hammer this issue everywhere. It's gotten that bad with the Pajeets and the Bing Bongs and the
Ching Chongs, the
Ooga
Bing
Boogas.
Bongs, the Ooga Boogers.
Yeah, all of them. So yeah, get your right wing Twitter accounts churning out. Yeah, just anti-mass migration stuff, and hold these people to account. Just really put the pressure on, and then maybe we can through people like this guy Marcus, I think, who heads CHF, and who knows, maybe in future Reality Check Radio, if we can bring them aboard, or any organization aboard.
Yeah, I'm sure
maybe
they
we
could.
can.
I've never
Yeah,
really turned too much into Reality Check Radio, but I see,
nor
like,
have
you
I.
just drive through the countryside, you see like the banners and stuff on like these boomers' houses and stuff. You see it all the time, so they've
It's quite
obviously got an
impressive.
audience. And from what I saw, they had like Martin, like, what was the German guy, Selzner or whatever his name is?
Oh, Selner.
Sellner. I don't know why I forgot that name. He's a pretty big deal. So they had
Yeah.
Martin Sellner on. So that's like, I'm like, wow,
Did
they
they?
actually had him on. That's pretty
Holy
good.
Reality Check Radio had Martin Selner on.
Yeah, of
Fuck,
Identity Europa. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe these guys aren't too bad after
whoa.
all.
Yeah, I got the feeling that like some of the boomers are like,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
obviously, like, boomers are becoming more and more red-pilled by the day. I mean, we've seen it in real time from, going
mm,
from, Nigel Farage to Trump to the COVID nonsense and to now. For the last 15 years, well, I guess, were they even boomers back then? I guess people you'd
oh,
say that grew up in the 80s and 70s and whatnot have just been getting, like, grew up on the media. It's like, this is why
mm,
these people, like, a lot of these boomers were or are so like retarded, is like they were literally raised by the media. They watched
yeah,
TV all day as a child, all the way
mm,
up to their 40s, 50s, and only now, the past 15 years, as that started to wade, they've sort of like broken their conditioning, is a way to put it.
yeah.
The
No,
conditioning's
that's
finally
exactly what it
breaking.
is.
So
We're
that's why
breaking the
boomers.
condition.
That's why
Yeah,
boomers are suddenly becoming based now.
yeah, 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 absolutely. And if you think about it, it's this whole broad movement that's happening all over the world right now, where people are waking up and saying, "Hang on, this isn't working." So I mean, we've all got to be part of that, guys, and don't view it as a chore. View it as fun. Even Bowden again himself said, it's fun to make fun of this liberal kind
Oh, it
of
is fun
yeah,
because
it is.
our
Yeah.
enemies are so ridiculous. It's fun to make fun of them.
Yeah, so go ahead and do it. I mean, I can't say the amount of. I mean, I call all these like feminist women. I just call them trannies, and and I say all kinds of. I just, I don't want to give my cover away too much, but yeah, I
Secret agent Gilbert, he's calling the feminist trannies.
yeah, I do a bit of that. I have a bit of fun. So, but don't just say that. Obviously, like have a coherent response and have some good one-liners. That the right-wing people are the best at that on Twitter. Left-wingers can't even cobble a sentence together without sounding completely gay and stupid and retarded. But
Well, that's because they are gay, stupid, and retarded.
oh yeah, true. Yeah.
There isn't that much to it. It's not that deep. It's not that deep, dude. Like, left-wingers are just literally gay, stupid, and retarded.
They are. So yeah, but who knows? Maybe we could bring some of them aboard because
Well, some of them aren't just like complete like traitors.
yes,
like there's
yes.
going to be always that class of people that are just going to be complete traitors to the very end. Those people obviously can never be turned around. Maybe there's some. But it's like as time goes on, it's like, how can you still be a leftist and whatever? Like now, it's like maybe in like the 90s, I sort of got it, but it's like, buddy, are you seeing the state of affairs? It's like, how can you shill for mass migration now?
Yeah, and
But I
and
s-
that's where we need to be. We need to be in the gap, getting these people that I think you're talking about the normie kind of people who are automatically leftist because of just the
yeah,
stimuli
like
they're used.
boomer green
Yeah,
voters and stuff like that.
yeah, and we need to be in the gap, actually going, actually no, and pulling them towards us, and because the time, you're right, it's ripe to do that, and in fact, I think if you said they had Martin Sellner on
Yeah, they did.
RCR, like that's actually very very interesting to me, and we should actually probably explore how they managed to get on, and what that was about, you know,
Yeah, I
like
can't
what.
say. I mean, I've never actually really watched them. I wasn't really that interested in them. I mean, always
No,
knew they were sort of all right, but when I saw they got Selner on a week or so ago, I was like, wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so maybe we can reproduce that somehow and get other people, who are like
Yeah,
Selner on that. That would be that's a. I'm actually very white pilled to hear that. That's good.
one
But yeah,
step at a time. One step at a
mm.
time, mate. One day we'll get Selner on the show.
Yeah, and let's do that. Yeah, so
Um, well,
yeah, so that
anyways,
you know what you guys have to do. You know what everybody, and talk to everybody about it and spread the message. The best thing we can do is talk and talk online. Actually, it seems, but talk in real life too.
yep, of course. All right. So our next topic was about the elites. The elites are buying bunkers, they're selling stocks. Like they know something's up. Like they know that our current trajectory like isn't good, like economically and potentially even militarily. Like something's gonna give.
Mm,
So
mm.
we'll just watch. I'll watch the shorter one.
Okay.
I'll watch this one.
Yep.
We
Whatever
can
you
never
want.
predict or control
this
what
is-
will happen in the world.
I mean, it'll
But
speak
our
for itself.
first,
But this is a
most
company that
powerful
shields
instinct
is
bunkers.
always
Oh,
the
sorry, am I
same,
not sharing it with
to
you?
protect.
Sorry,
That's all right.
I was sharing it with this stream, but not Gilbert.
Yep.
That'd be Alright, I'll start that again. So yeah, this is a company that shills bunkers to billionaires. But it's like, I mean, to be fair, billionaires have been buying bunkers for a few decades now, but it seems to have really ramped up in the last 2, 3, basically since Ukraine. It's been
Yeah.
ramping up.
Mm.
Since Ukraine and COVID.
Yeah.
We can never predict or control what will happen in the world. But our
Goyim.
first, most powerful instinct is always the same, to protect the ones we love.
Guys, a lot of material possessions that he wants to protect.
I like how he looks just like a normal guy, and he's got this huge,
Gigantic mansion.
To provide a
Gigantic
sanctuary
villa.
where they can be safe and secure, out of danger and out of sight. But with all the comforts of home, and surrounded by their most precious possessions.
Oh my gosh.
Are you really gonna need like a Mercedes in a post-nuclear apocalypse? Wouldn't like a Jeep be more?
Yeah.
I guess the Cybertruck maybe, like the Hummer maybe, but it's like, do you need stuff like this? Do you need like an old? I don't know too much about cars, but like an old
Yeah.
Ford or whatever the heck that is. Like,
Yeah. That's.
Oppidum creates underground living spaces that are highly secure and completely
you think the Jeep would
discreet,
be enough?
yet beautifully appointed and entirely bespoke. With everything you need to relax and unwind.
well, they got
and keep
I think
your
they're going to need a lot of.
mind and body
I don't think
in
people will be
peak
playing
condition.
Fortnite post-apocalypse. I think the servers might be down.
We
I think
will
the servers
be
of
wherever
Fortnite
you
might be
are
down
in the
after the
world to
nuclear war, to
enhance
be
and
fair.
protect your residence. Whatever is happening in the world outside, you can rest easy and live fully in times of tranquility.
Look, he's got his
and in
grandpa.
times of
He's got a
unrest.
random
Entertain
Russian
friends
oligarch
and
with
enjoy
him.
private time
Those
with
are
your
going to be the
family,
people buying
or
this stuff.
just
It's like
savor having
Western
a
or
safe
Russian,
place to reflect.
Chinese, oligarchs. This is for the oligarchs, really.
What the heck is that? He's got that Globo Homo arch.
Your private gallery keeps your collections in
gallery.
perfect condition.
These guys are going to need a lot of security guards as well.
and is
They're going to
built
need like
the
entire
highest
barracks.
Security standards. The
Yeah.
hidden technology that sustains your life underground is as carefully considered, meticulously engineered, and beautifully crafted as every other aspect of
Because
your
you're the only
Oppidum.
one with food and electricity. I think people are
Your
going
Oppidum
to
has
have an
2
issue with that.
independent air filtration
So
systems.
these people are going to need like a
2
battalion of
backup
security
power
guards.
generators provide
Yeah.
constant, off-the-grid power in case of a blackout. All systems operate completely autonomously. Emergency batteries, which are kept fully charged at all times, are capable of powering the property independently.
how long those batteries will last.
All Oppidum systems
Yeah,
are
how do
carefully
they-
integrated into the overall design.
Well,
so
it's
that
pretty
you'll
expensive to
never
keep
know
these
it's
bunkers
there.
running with electricity. A lot
An
of the
invisible
bunkers that were
shield
run by the
that
military have like
operates with the
absolutely
same
massive
silent
generators,
dependability as the
Mm.
movement in a Swiss
and that's to
watch.
support a couple hundred people.
Mm.
Unseen and untouched. To protect the people we love and the objects we cherish is the most powerful human instinct. Your Oppidum is the only luxurious answer to this call. Designed and constructed to
Something
withstand
has
ballistic,
nearly
environmental,
700
and civil
subscribers.
threats. This is
Yeah.
security
So I'm wondering if
without
this is just like
sacrifice,
just a shill thing. Like,
comfort without
is this like one of those
compromise.
scam companies like run out of like
Oppidum.
Saudi Arabia or something? Because there's a lot of those. Like, there's
Mm.
always these companies popping up that just want to get like these Saudi Arabian oligarchs' money. So
Mm.
this might be
Mm.
one of them. But
Mm.
it is sort of funny. I mean, stuff like that. You're gonna need a big ass security detachment to keep away the other people that might not be too happy that you've got all the electricity and food.
Yeah, yeah. It's also amazing they were showing off all that technology. It's like, oh, technology that will sustain you forever, and it's like, man, you can really, in plain sight, you can see all the good stuff they're keeping away from people without
Yeah, they're
releasing
keeping
it.
Fortnite. What the heck? They're literally
Yeah.
playing Fortnite. Well, we all have to live in a nuclear wasteland. That's ridiculous.
yeah. I like it how it's just like a geomagnetic storm happens or whatever, and like his friends just randomly show up and they're like, oh hey man, like how's it going? And they're just smoking and drinking in the lounge room. It's like,
Oh, it's
yeah,
a
'cause
Swiss
that's what you.
company. So maybe it is a
Yeah.
bit more serious than like a Saudi Arabian scam company. So it's a Swiss
Ah.
firm. So that actually might mean it's actually
That
something
actually
to
makes.
take a bit more serious.
Yeah. I mean, certainly a lot of them are doing it. A lot of them are building these bunkers, these luxury palatial bunkers, and all
Yeah.
over the world.
I wonder what their plan is. Is their plan to like come out of these bunkers after like a year and become like the new feudal lords or something over like
Yeah.
the irradiated peasants? Like, is that their plan?
Yeah, I tried. That's a good question. Yeah, how much do they really know, and will that?
Well, you can't live in
Really
your
happen.
bunker forever, so they've got to come out. And when they come out, is it like plan to just become like the new nobility? Like, is that it?
Oh, they'll want to. Yeah, they'll want to reassert themselves
Yeah.
at the top.
Well, that's
no
part
doubt.
of this. This is the whole part of this. This is why they're keeping so much of their wealth and material possessions in these types of bunkers, is so when they emerge to this utterly destroyed world, they're going to be the ones with the power again.
Yeah, that's right. With who knows what they'll, AI robots. There's also that other company that produces those. I don't know if it's Boston Dynamics, although they do, but they produce those robot dogs and those
Yeah.
drones with machine guns and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, these people live in a completely different world to us. Like they know. It's a completely different experience. We would have no idea. So yeah.
Well, you've already got killer robots. I mean, you literally have those autonomous suicide drones that blow people up. Like
Right.
we're already up to the age where we have killer robots. Like we're already
Right.
here. They've
Mm.
been killing thousands of people.
We could probably just have an entire army of Zoomers playing Fortnite that are like connected to drones, and like if like I don't know, a Russian or a Somali horde comes across the border, you just get a bunch of Call of Duty Zoomers to like pilot the drones via like a Call of Duty patch or whatever.
Yeah, and they can get like kill streaks and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
exactly. Exactly. Like they could probably do that right now. They
can-
have the tech, but they I don't know.
They've got the
technology's slow to
tech, but we
progress.
don't have the will just yet. We'll get there.
Yeah, lazy programmers. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, maybe
Well,
we can
I
just.
guess on
Yeah,
that
I
note-
think that the journalists should just be sent straight to the military, straight to the fronts of the Ukraine, and
That would be a good end for them. Ideally, in like these like prisoner battalions, it just gets walked straight to enemy machine gun positions. Like that'd be a pretty good end for the journalists.
yeah, meat wave. Yeah,
There can be some foreign volunteers for Ukraine or Russia. I don't really care.
yeah, either
Either or
either.
works.
They can join the Houthis. If they care,
But
But
the Houthis are sort of base, so they don't need these smelly journalists. But yeah, well, speaking of that, I mean, New Zealand is like prime real estate for the for these people to set up their bunkers. And literally, you had Luxon in the last election saying he wanted to make it easier for these people to come here, build their bunkers in, the Southern Alps somewhere with
Mm,
all their
mm.
material wealth, and then come out to be the new elite when the world collapses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the two places that they're building all these bunkers in and that all these billionaires are moving to is Hawaii and New Zealand. So
So why
there
even
you
that
go.
safe? It's like an American military base, so wouldn't Hawaii get nuked?
Yeah, but yeah, you'd think so. I mean, it's still off in the Pacific, so it's still in a way off place that's
Yeah,
away from the rest. But you are right. I mean, I know what you mean. Like a lot of oligarchs kind of like the Pacific, and it's a fairly neutral zone. So I
yeah.
think perhaps that's where
The
they're
weather is nicer
coming.
in Hawaii than it is in, the South Island of New Zealand. That is true. So maybe it's
Mm,
that. But I
mm,
don't know. That seems a bit risky. If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't want to build my bunker next to
mm.
a major naval installation. That's
Yeah,
probably going to get nuked at some point.
yeah. Or maybe it's sort of like the Swiss Army that they have a special deal with the Navy. But yeah, you tend to think that, wouldn't you?
Or maybe
But
they just really like the weather. Who knows?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. So they're
I
planning
mean,
to. There's
mm,
more people coming here, millionaires,
mm,
using their investor visas, which honestly shouldn't even exist. These have existed for decades, where people with net wealth over $4 million, I believe, can say, "Oh, I'm going to invest in New Zealand," and then what the thing they invested is literally just buying a bunker. Wow, that's
mm,
such an investment. Wow, this
mm,
this
mm,
improved the country greatly.
Well, that's what who Luxon is. He's a businessman.
Yeah,
He's not a man who actually cares about what the country actually is, who New Zealanders actually are. He's a
yeah, yeah.
businessman first and foremost.
We've got a couple comments. Greatest Ally Israel says, I mean, surely those bunkers have air vents. Yeah, that's why they need like security details. They need to have like patrols going around the bunker to
Mm,
to stop
mm.
angry people pouring cement down their air vents.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they have backup oxygen supplies or something. But yeah, otherwise you'd imagine that air would get pretty stale down there.
Yeah,
Mm.
and he also says, aren't those tech demos highly choreographed in controlled environments? I mean, they're not tech demos. There's literally like videos of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, the machine gun robot is
Mm.
kinda, but in Ukraine, you do have like these suicide robots that they
Mm.
function fully autonomously. They don't even need a human. They just fly around in circles. They see someone, they fly towards it and blow them up. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But they have actually mounted machine guns on robo dogs. But I've seen that as well. That there are people who are very seriously interested in this new generation of warfare that we're seeing all over the world. Yeah, it's so who knows what could come next? Because I think they are. I think they are aware that people that they are going to prepare for hordes of angry people coming to them banging on their vault door or whatever.
yeah, I think these people are obviously going to have like a huge security detail. Like they're going to be the lords. The security detail are going to be like the
Mm,
samurai. Like they're going to be the
yeah,
indentured samurai to the lords, and then everyone else will be the peasants.
yeah, exactly. It like even though billionaires are coming to New Zealand, like that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet, guys. I mean, there's multiple ways that if they wanted to, given the circumstance, they feel it is correct to do so, they could I don't know, release an actually harmful virus or release an EMP or or send robo drones out. Who knows? They could send an airplane over New Zealand with some chemical. They do that all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, with all kinds of chemical compounds. But yeah, so yeah, it's
So here's
bananas. Yeah.
someone. So yeah, it says
Mm,
right here, Mark Zuckerberg bought his thing in Hawaii, in a
mm.
Kulu ranch. Where is Kulu? Any what's up? Is this near the
Cool.
military base?
Yeah, I don't know. I will say though that there are there's photo evidence of that. That of course they try to keep paparazzi out and whatnot, but that you can see these huge hauler trucks, like the mining trucks, hauling these huge tonnage of dirt out of this giant hole that they're building. and it's still in construction. I guess it'll be done
There's a
soon. But
naval base on this island that Zuckerberg bought his ranch on, so maybe not the
mm,
smartest move.
yeah.
It's a
Well,
navy.
remember, they do a lot of elites seem quite competent. Like again, it goes back to what do they know that we don't. I think that's the key message with all this movement that we're seeing. What do they know that we don't? And they seem fairly adamant that Hawaii is the place to go. And if we remember back to last year, how they basically there was some suspicious stuff going on with Lahaina, and how
Yeah,
they basically blew up the place, incinerated it, and then everybody lost their homes and their properties. But what do you know? Bill Gates's property, the Four Seasons, and all these very well off people who live there, that their property was completely fine.
it's a
You
massive
know,
military base on this island. Look at it. It's huge.
mm,
So I don't
so
know why. There must be something going on. Like,
yeah.
why are they buying? Why are they buying doomsday bunkers on like a militarized island? Like,
Mm,
is
yeah,
it?
well, it must be their own private military in that
I
case.
guess yeah. In some ways, like this island is highly militarized. So you'd think this would be like a nuclear target in a war with Russia.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe hey, maybe they've made some deal. Maybe they'll become part of the Chinese oligarchs or Russian oligarch
Yeah,
or
that's true.
Israeli.
Yeah, that's true.
These people live in their own worlds. They have their own way about doing things. They know what to do to
Yeah,
safeguard themselves. Like,
yeah,
and that's how it's always happened in history. They've always made that, as they say in history. The decision of the battle is already made before it actually starts. So the generals and leaders, they all, you know, co-conspirator and discuss these things, and then they decide, okay, all right, you have the
yeah.
or
No,
whatever it is. Yeah.
I think that's exactly right. I think that actually, yeah, the Russian oligarchs and the American oligarchs, the Chinese oligarchs will probably agree not to nuke certain places.
Vichy France,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Nazis. Yeah, it's yeah. Look how many. Yeah, so
Military bases
uh,
everywhere. Maybe they, yeah, after the war happens, they're planning to. Well, maybe this is going to be their security force, as I mentioned. They're going to induct whatever soldiers or naval personnel here to be their new private army to
mm,
keep whoever else is around in line and be their peasantry.
well, that's exactly. I remember reading a natural news article and other alt news websites were discussing it, that there were these Silicon Valley tech giants, very successful, very well off, who were actually discussing with like survival experts and bunker doomsday prepper builder expert types that okay, what do we do? What do we have? And then it came to the subject of what kind of people, and it's like how do we they were saying, how do we control these people? How do we, we're going to put on like shot collars on them and like chips on them and stuff. And it just goes to show that they really, excuse me, they really view people as like another species or something, and they're really not interested in negotiating with, or maybe gaining people's trust. Maybe or becoming
Well, I
friends
mean,
with them.
people are just a
I mean,
means to an end. Like
yeah,
to most of these
for them.
billionaires, the average person is a interchangeable like unit of labor.
Yeah, or an interchangeable tranny or gender, or it's anything they don't care. They don't give us stuff. So that's just voices more to the idea that they literally don't care about anybody. That they're inducted into this weird kind of Silicon Valley world where yeah, I don't know, man. So they just it's a completely different experience, and yeah, that's where we are, and that this is what they're doing. So it's like, just be prepared, people, because it seems like 2024 could be the year that some real stuff
Yeah.
goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got Mark Zuckerberg selling all his some of his shares in Facebook over the last what I guess it's somewhere in the last couple of years he's sold about
Mm,
like 20% of his shares over the last couple
mm,
years to like liquid assets, and yeah,
mm,
he's buying bunkers with it.
mm,
He's probably buying like precious metals that,
mm.
that could be used as a means of
Oh yeah.
exchange after some sort of a catastrophe.
Mm,
So they're liquidizing they're
yeah.
turning their assets into liquid and then turning that liquid assets into property and
Mm.
probably precious metals and other goods they're going to need.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, we were talking about oligarchs. Mark Zuckerberg basically already is basically a Chinese oligarch with his wife.
Yeah,
He's like a more successful Serpenza I don't know the guy's name. Anyway, you guys probably don't know who that is, but yeah, he basically already is a Sino-Israeli diplomat in a way. So these are the kinds of connections that they have, and they're all connected in with each other. But yeah, you're right. I mean, all these governments have building up stores of gold and precious metals and things like that, and they're viciously ripping away property from people, like we saw in Lahaina. Get off our land, it's ours now. And buying it up, just like after the BLM protests, and that they started buying up all that property they destroyed, worked perfectly for them. And of course, BLM is connected to Chinese and Russian intelligence, and that was perfect for them on many fronts. And yeah, they're paving the way for the new elite to lord over us. Techno feudalism, literal techno feudalism. Sorry, did you want to continue, Hector?
No, you just pretty much summed it up. I just said, yeah, he sold over the last 5 months nearly $1 billion worth of shares, and about 10% of his total shareholdings. So still has quite a lot of shares left, but still a 10% of your shares isn't
10%. Yeah, no, that's huge. That's decent. That means you're serious. I mean, 10%. That ain't chump numbers. So yeah, he's I mean, and we see this across the board. I mean, I have a list right here. We've got Oprah Winfrey. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
just sharing another tab. Like
yeah.
Wait, now where's the better article here? This one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, here you go. Like Senator Tuberville bet against this Taiwan company in stock trade. So I mean, we think about U.S. politicians or Western ones being for Taiwan, and we're all pro Taiwan. Whatever you think about that, okay, whatever. But I mean, look, they're when they do their insider trading against what they purport to be the causes that they support. So
well, this politician, he's one of the biggest supporters of Taiwan, but then he's
betting
against them.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I mean, this guy's a shifty dude as well. So I mean, they all are. But yeah, probably China Hawk and member of the Senate Armed Service Committee placed a financial bet worth up to $45,000 against a Taiwanese company whose stock is often affected by U.S.-China tensions, according to a pair of recent.
Isn't this literally just insider trading? Like, how's this guy allowed to do this?
Yeah, they all do it. They've all been doing it.
True. They all do it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got there's all kinds of. I have a list of politicians here. You've got they're selling their stocks. So Tommy Tuberville, $1.3 million selling volume. Daniel Goldman, 43.9 selling volume. Pete Rochette, Zoe Lofgren, Dan Sullivan, John Hickenlooper, Lois Frankel, Michael C. Bergen, I think, John Curtis, Scott Franklin, and they've all got these multi-million-dollar trades that they're selling. So
and then also when they sell it, like the people buying it are BlackRock and Vanguard anyway, so it's like they can't lose anyway.
Yeah, it's all in the family slush fund. Yeah. It's billionaire Jeff Bezos has sold $4 billion in Amazon stock in a week, as he sets about plans to sell $50 million shares at the end of 2025. So I mean, he's got a date on it, and that should really, I mean, that's a huge move by Bezos, and 50 million shares by the end of 2025.
You'd think if these people had like faith in the economy and the future of their businesses, they wouldn't be selling massive amount of shares. Like they know something's up.
Yeah, they're making big moves in a limited period of time. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and these are literally some of the most profitable companies to ever exist, like Amazon, Facebook. Was there something with Google? No, just more. Probably Google as well. I mean.
Oh yeah, Google included, Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet,
Apple,
all
that,
Apple.
Microsoft. These are literally, those companies are the biggest companies in existence right now. Those like big 6 tech companies, and the shareholders seem to just be selling it all off.
And it's just mad rush. Yeah.
And you'd expect with like the death of the legacy media, you'd think that these owners of alternative platforms like Facebook Go, oh no, I see a massive opportunity here. We're going to become like the new town
Yeah.
square, the public square. But no, they're like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, screw your job and your news channel selling out the New Zealand people or the American people. I've got a bunker to build, so I'm just cutting off my deal with you. So I've got like 5 bunkers to build in a military base in Hawaii. Me and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, we're gonna have
Yeah.
like a bunker dedicated fully to Fortnite, VR Fortnite.
I
So
can't believe
yeah,
that actually had someone
sorry.
playing Fortnite in that advertisement. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Samantha Green and Goblin guy. Yeah, we got a. Yeah, okay. Billionaires bracing
Oh,
for
YouTube.
apocalypse.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
there's Google there.
YouTubers even. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I just said that's related to Google. So
Right, right. There you go. Yeah. Billionaires bracing for apocalypse. Zuckerberg, Altman, and wealthy YouTubers build bunkers. An underground shelter in Romania costs 70,000 euros. Psychologists explain the phenomenon.
that's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
I
I
guess
could.
it's Romania. Romania is like it's in NATO, so the very
Yeah.
large chance there's going to be a couple nukes getting dropped there if there does worst comes to worst. So it's
Mm,
probably why it's so
mm.
cheap.
Yeah, I hear Bill Gates and I guess potentially others, maybe Schwab himself, but Bill Gates has bunkers all over the world. He's
Yeah,
got them
that's
everywhere.
unsurprising. That's unsurprising.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, who knows? Even maybe even Epstein, or Ghislaine Max. All these people. They have all kinds of resources at their disposal. I mean, Epstein. We don't even know what happened to him. He could be in a bunker somewhere.
Yeah,
Uh,
do we actually know he really died? Like,
yeah. Mm.
is he in Serbia with Tupac and Hitler or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Biggie Smalls chumming it up, but yeah. So it's just like it's anyone's guess really, and it really just falls on us to just kind of be smart during this period. Yeah. Did you want to say anything about this one, Hector?
Just yeah, just seeing what we're doing. Seeing what as seeing it is. Wait, why have I forgotten
Uh,
how to talk? Just seeing how it is. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, yeah, just looking, yeah, reality in the face. I just saw in that last article, Altman was talking about,
This one.
either nukes or, yeah, he was saying, CEO of OpenAI, uh, developing ChatGPT, believes that human civilization could be destroyed by a synthetic virus, an artificial intelligence attack, or a nuclear war. And obviously, there's a lot more than that. But look how he's preparing, folks. I try not to think about it too much. This is what Altman says. But I have guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, batteries, water, gas masks from the IDF, Israeli
Hmm.
Defense Forces, courtesy of the IDF and Mossad and the Lykuds. Yeah, I just get gas masks and guns and gold from Mossad.
And I bet like Sam Altman, I mean, he's talking about how he's got like guns and gas masks, but he's probably like lobbies for all these like gun control for the average American. So the average
Yeah,
person's just going to be
there
screwed
you
while
go.
he gets to keep all the guns and all the gold.
There you go. There you go. I mean, they're just absolute hypocrites. Like they view us as another species. They view us as
No, they view
void.
you as peasants. That's literally it. They see
Yeah,
you as the peasantry.
or not even human. Like just like anyway, we know what they believe in their religion. But yeah, Altman is a pilot and has a landing strip on his property in the mountainous areas of California coast. However, he does not have a bunker. I have some structures, but I wouldn't call it a bunker. So yeah, that's pretty much how Altman, the big ChatGPT OpenAI guy, is doing. And yeah, Peter Thiel actually wanted to build a bunker in.
New
I thought
Zealand,
he
yeah.
had. Yeah, I thought he had one, but apparently he tried, and
The,
that
the
they were.
government went nut.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, like who really knows even about that? I mean, you give people enough money, they'll be willing to do anything, even if it is covertly. So,
Surprised actually the government said no to that. Sort of
mm,
surprised the government didn't just say, "Oh, you have
yeah,
money? Sure."
yeah, yeah, exactly. You'd think from their type, yeah, their caliber of morality, you'd think that they would just be like, "Yep, sweet as wherever you
Yeah,
want,
yeah,
in my
exactly.
backyard, yeah, but let me have the keys to it too." But yeah, so here's another, guys, and pay attention to how many articles there are. There's heaps. But billionaire survivalist bunkers go absolutely bonkers with fiery moats and water cannons. Amid World War III fears, apocalypse-fearing moguls are investing millions in survival strategies, including rotating fireplaces out of Indiana Jones and heightened tactical systems. So this is wow. This is like automated, hyper tech luxury gay space communism. Zuckerberg is constructing, and this came out a while ago. Zuckerberg is constructing a 5,000 square foot bunker on his ranch on the island of Kauai. The business of fortified shelters is booming, adding more fuel to the flames, escalating armed conflict around the globe. Ongoing onslaught of mass shootings, fractious political landscape leading up to November 5th. And that's an important date, guys. I mean, in my opinion, that's the date that we need to be preparing for, the presidential election. And Hector and I will be covering it. Maybe we should all take a day off and
yeah, well, we'll be taking a good day. I mean, it's what, like, it's three. It's still like 6 months away, 5 months away. So try and get some day off, have a watch party.
Yeah.
Watch it with your friends. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Everybody take a day off. Yeah, sorry, go. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what path basically the Western world will take.
Yeah, and then what's going to happen? I mean, because they have so many Iranians and Russians and Chinese and, Mexican gangs and, MS-13 in America right now. I mean, this is perfect time, really, for the enemies of NATO and the US to just, set something off, do massive, sporadic terrorist attacks all in quick succession of one another, to the point where the police and the military will be, fractured, in an innumerable amount of ways. Just that they won't be able to coordinate anything effective to counter all of that. I mean, that is, I mean, America is being invaded right now. Let's just get that clear. They have all kinds of agents, Islamic terror cells, and Chinese agents.
Got terror cells, incels.
Yeah, Chinese incels, yeah. Yeah, the 1%ers who can afford to pull out all the stops for self-preservation are doing so more than ever, often in a fashion that goes way beyond the submerged corrugated metal units seen on reality TV shows. Yeah. So I mean, you saw what the Optium Swiss company was presenting. It was something really quite high end, to put it, lightly.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah, that one.
One was a Fortnite.
Yeah. It's a bit. Yeah, keep going.
Everything you need to relax and unwind.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's the future of the elites.
I mean, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, I would want this. This would be pretty cool. But
yeah, I mean, having a Fortnite bunker wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I would rather not like Mark Zuckerberg get the Fortnite bunker. I want the
Yeah.
I want the Fortnite skibidi toilet bunker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways. No, we already saw that one. We're up to here. So yeah.
Jeff Bezos will save over $600 million in taxes on his stock sale thanks to Seattle-Miami move. So another big move.
Where does he used to be based? Does it say?
I think it was Kelly, right? California?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think he used to be there, and but now he's slowly being taken over by MS-13. So he's just like, well, time to move to Miami. It's basically the same thing. I think he talks like that's his voice, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, again, just big moves. $50 million worth of shares that he's planning to sell.
That's not only the stuff he sold so far. I expect him to just keep selling and selling and selling until he vast majority of his assets in like property and precious metals and artwork and stuff like that will hopefully retain its value after an apocalypse or a massive economic collapse.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, he is a. I think that guy's like a Chinese agent, to be honest. No doubt he has. You don't think so?
How's this? Just look at him. He's like an Epstein.
He's like a boomer, like dream boomer. You know, like what
Yeah.
boomers dream of
Yeah,
being.
true. That is actually sort of true.
Yeah, the ultimate boomer, the final boomer boss. Yeah. So Yep. Yep.
Oh, sorry, you read the
Yep.
title.
Billionaire bunkers, how the 1% are preparing for the apocalypse.
A couple of these images.
Yeah, well, that looks pretty. Well,
Got,
why do they
it's
need
got-
that?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
3D Fortnite or something.
it might be
Keep
more
going.
than that. I think that's more to so they can re-establish their global
Yeah.
operations.
True. Oh, there we go.
Oh, all that in there.
Yeah. Getting. Yeah, they've like played way too much Fallout, and they think like this will be a real. Hey,
What's that in a box?
Yeah. Jeez.
Those are like the boxes that we're talking about that all the Pajeets are moving into and all.
Yeah. That's
like-
where they're gonna store up all the Pajeets.
Yeah, although I don't think the interior of the boxes look like that. It looks more like it's
Yeah.
the slum of Delhi. To be
What?
fair.
These just look like kind of normal
Yeah, I know
houses.
some of these are just like normal houses.
How's that gonna withstand like zombies or whatever?
It's just like a Pajeet house.
A Pajeet house.
I don't know. I think someone went a bit crazy. Like that's just a weird 3D
That's
render
just
of a house. I don't know who got these images. I think someone like had too much time on their hands and just wanted to waste the day finding strange images.
Yeah, because they don't exactly look like Doomsday
I have
Apocalypse.
I have a feeling they're probably like, oh, no one's gonna scroll past like the first two. So they just put random images in there.
All that wine. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
have
that's
all
what
the
the
wine.
elites they'll be stocking up on wine.
They will, or I guarantee you all of them will. Yeah. So yeah, this is so.
Really makes you think.
Doomsday Demand. Yeah. So that's what some of them look like. They don't really look like. Maybe this was part of the scam. We'll just say it's a Doomsday bunker when it's just like a somewhat well-off house. Berkshire Hathaway earnings, cash balances hit record 167.6 billion as firm remains disciplined. So, yep, more companies. Yep. We can keep going on if we have more or
I think we're getting towards the end. Yeah, more stuff,
Mm.
sort of the same thing. Yeah, the great
Yeah.
cash out. So
Yeah.
all these, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos,
Jeff
the Walton
Bezos.
family, aren't they the people that own Walmart? Yeah, Walmart, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. Have sold a combined $11 billion in
That's a
company
lot.
stock.
Yeah, that's like the GDP of some like small African nation.
Yeah, yeah, or even bigger than other nations. Like, yeah, not sure exactly, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, Leon Black, Jamie Dimon. They all have it. Yeah, and yeah, you also have like all these celebrities as well. Doing the same thing.
Fortnite streamers or YouTubers all buying bunkers.
It's bunker time, baby. Excuse me.
So yeah, just more of the same. Nvidia shares climb.
Yep, Bezos cashes out 8.5 billion from Amazon share sale.
Yep, sort of stuff we've already sort of covered. So yeah, they're all cashing out. Really makes you think.
There's all kinds of articles like this online.
Oh, here we go.
Can...
Here's another one. Here's one we haven't covered yet. I'll share it again. So we've covered Bezos. We've also got Bob Iger of Disney as well, cashing out. I mean, to be fair, like Disney's in the toilet because they keep making products no one wants to watch.
Tranny propaganda.
Yeah, basically.
Slashes Disney stake by 80%. Damn, that's rough, man. I mean, I guess no one will be watching Disney anyway when it's like.
Yeah, that's actually probably like a smart financial move. You should probably like cash out of Disney because that's going the way of Newshub. Maybe not as quickly. It's going to take a while, but if they continue on their current trajectory, Disney will be going the way of the Newshub.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, they all will. They're all part of the same sort of global psyop, really, if you think about it, which is pretty crazy even to just think about, like that they're all following this narrative.
Yeah.
loosely or not. Yeah, but yeah, pretty incredible. So yeah, time to
sorry.
really. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, you go.
Oh yeah. In the market, Fed beware the banking crisis of March. Yeah, so that's a key date that a lot of people are saying. Who knows? It might not happen, but yeah, it's like,
Well,
yeah, just sorry.
we're in March already, so see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what. Yeah, who knows? But it may not be time yet. Somehow, I don't think it'll be March. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong, but I think they want to put some things in place first, before they, allow any crises to happen. Uh, if you know what I mean. So it's anyway. In any case, it's a good idea to have crypto, I think, guys. And if you can get any alternative forms of, look, if you can get crypto and if you can't get precious metals, at least get cash out.
Yeah,
Because at least you'll have some cash, and that will be worth something. And
maybe.
maybe, yeah, Trev. I mean, if we go into hyperinflation, then yeah, maybe not. But have tangible assets is all I'm saying. But yeah, get cash out at least, and have some tangible assets. But
Yeah,
but yeah,
precious metals are always good. I mean, they've literally
oh
retained
yeah.
their value throughout the entire course of human history, so that's not going to change ever. So,
Yeah, absolutely, the safest investment. So, but I would really encourage you strongly, you guys, to get crypto, because I think that is
get
very.
Monero Chads, rise up.
Yeah, in the next 5 years, I mean, Monero could experience the same bull run that Bitcoin experienced the first
Experiencing
time.
right now. There's a
Yeah,
bull
or
run.
experiencing right now. Yeah, exactly. I would actually, out of all the crypto, like, yeah, get into Bitcoin, but I would actually strongly recommend people get into Monero
Yeah.
over the next couple of 5 years, especially. I think Monero, we've yet to see what it can really do. Um, just because, like, that is the realest.
Well, it's the one the Fed wants to shut down the most. Like they're always trying to
Yeah,
like shut down Monero on any sort of exchange because the Fed fears it.
yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. And that happened a couple of weeks ago, I believe. And yeah,
Yeah,
so they're trying to take
Binance
it off.
stopped trading in it, so
Yeah, exactly. So get Monero, guys.
yeah.
Really encourage you to get. Yeah, and
Well,
it's.
I guess
Mm,
we'll end it on that sort of covers the bunker section of the stream. Pretty long one, but there's been a lot going on in that space, and we haven't really covered it yet. So we did a bit of
mm,
a deepish dive, not super deep, but
yeah.
bit of
There's.
a look at it. But anyways, we'll finish on a funny one.
Mm.
After the Gemini AI went like crazy and refused to like depict images of white people ever. Like no matter what prompt you put in, it always give you back like some like we was Kangs like shit. Like we was Kangs, Yaqub, Nation of Islam type propaganda. Like, hey yo, what's that? Yo, that nigga was black. Like that's literally what like the AI was doing.
Yeah, pretty much. No exaggeration.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, failed to condemn pedophilia, which is pretty bizarre. I wonder if
Yeah.
it's got any. That's like, did they have to program that in? Like, did they do that on purpose? Like,
Yeah, they would have programmed that in. Yeah.
I don't know. They need to do like
Labeling.
a. They need to have a look at the like code repo to see who put that in there.
Yeah, well, these are all. Yeah, this is what Torba said. How it's. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, isn't it? I mean, it's another. It's not the genocide that we thought about, but it's the genocide
Still
that.
white genocide. It's
Yeah.
basically you've got stuff like this. I mean, it also happens in the media as well, where they go, "Hey yo, King Henry was black.
Yeah.
Shit, King Henry the Fifth, that nigga be black." It's
Yeah.
like that. It's like you got white genocide where they're trying to destroy white people in the future, and they're also trying to erase the past of
History.
Europeans by
Mm.
going, actually, yo, that guy was a nigger. Like just shit like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. They say like, "Oh, you're white people. You didn't actually invent anything. You lay claim to every invention that we know." But at the same time, they say like, "Oh, George Washington was black. Yeah, Albert Einstein was black. The samurais
Shakespeare
were
was
black."
black. Yo,
Yeah.
Shakespeare. His name was Shakespeare. Of course that nigga be black.
yeah, yeah. Nagasaki was actually used to be named Nagasaki, and then yeah, then
Because
the
the
Japanese.
niggas there were drinking too much sake, so they call it
Yeah,
Nagasaki.
the niggas drinking too much sake. Yeah, so that's so yeah, it's a like it is actually kind of a genocide, but yeah, it's just kind of silly, and this thing really
Well, it's just so silly. Like, like even normies took note of it.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, black people didn't do anything, okay? But, like,
I'm
but you make it sound
tired of
like they did
pretending they
everything.
did. They didn't do anything. I'm tired of pretending they did.
Yeah, it's, it is kind of funny actually, though. Like, it's just so. I wonder what the Black Hebrew Israelites. They're probably like, yeah, like finally the truth is
Finally,
coming
the
out and
truth
shit.
is coming out. These AIs need to be telling the truth and shit. Julius Caesar,
Yeah.
that guy was black.
Oh my goodness, isn't that what a world we live in? But yeah, this is their attempt to. I mean, actually, it is quite amazing because my brother was telling me he was speaking to one of his friends, and there was a movie that came out a while ago called Anne Boleyn. Do you remember that, Hector? About Queen.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, and remember they tried to portray her as black in the film, and my one of my family members was talking to a woman, of course, and she was going, "Oh my goodness, like, isn't it typical femoid thought process?" She was saying to my brother like, "Oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for Anne Boleyn. Wouldn't it have been quite awkward and terrible, being the only black person in the royal English family?" Like, she actually, and my brother was like, "No, that didn't happen. That was never like what the
These people
what."
are allowed to vote. Like,
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, this some people like the the fact that that can have an effect on some people is like, I mean, okay, the vast majority of people, but you can see where this sort of like starts off. Like in 2010 or whatever, 2009, like it started with a couple of trannies and we all laughed at them like on DeviantArt or whatever. But now it's like,
yeah,
okay,
true.
this is actually a really big problem. So it may seem a black person as George Washington or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and
It's
may
like, yeah,
seem
it's sort of funny, but it's like, no, this is actually sort of serious. Like I said.
like yeah, it could. Who knows? Like, what may seem silly today in 10 years' time could actually be something like that we're seriously arguing and debating about for our own like political survival or whatever. So I mean, it's funny, but like at the same time, I just think about the tranny situation back in 2010 when it first began rearing its ugly head. Remember that,
Yeah,
Hector?
yeah.
Like all these, and now it's like, oh my goodness, like it's such a serious thing. Like we have to make trainees feel comfortable in the workplace, and we have to employ them because they're a trainee. Like it's just like, and there was that New Zealand legislation, that PDF that went out that went through this huge. Like 90-page document about how they're basically going to induct this ambiguous gender into normalize it in society, and comes straight from the intelligence agencies. I'm sure it came from the New Zealand government. I'll have to share that actually. I'll share that a little later, maybe on Telegram. But yeah, this is the whole, and this is all to program us, to humiliate us, to sort of wipe us of our memories through generation by generation. I mean, let's remember, this all has its core, its founding in Marxism, and Marxism is perpetual revolution. So this isn't going to stop, and this is why it's so important you guys get on Twitter and we start carving out a space and a place for ourselves, and we really start dominating. Because again, what may seem funny today, and it is funny, it's hilarious, but 10 years time could be something completely different. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's well put. And that's why it is
mm,
sort of serious. Like, it is, yeah, it is funny. It's like, yeah, okay.
mm,
The AI made George Washington and like whatever black, but it's like,
mm,
well, I mean, the reason it did that is, yeah, it's trying to
mm,
rob Europeans of their actual history and the
mm,
achievements of their people and just go, oh, yo, this guy was like racially ambiguous or something.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And another thing is we don't quite know. I mean, we just came upon AI. Like we're just seeing the first ways in which it can be deployed. What if it's, deployed in robots in future? Like actually like robots that we're seeing in the first image of that captioned image that
yeah,
Torba shared. I mean the Jews could program it to, at a certain point of time, like Camp of the Saints style, um, genocide all white people. We know they're doing that to the Palestinians. We know they did that to the Armenians, to ethnic Russians, the Ukrainians, to virtually every people that they've lived amongst. So I mean, why is it so far fetched when they have arguably the most power they've ever had in any time in human history? And we're really struggling to actually pull them down from these places. It's like, why is it so far fetched that given their position in human history now, that they could do something like this? I mean, it's like they're already prepping these systems, these deep learning AI systems in Silicon Valley to, recognize, oh, black people are better, white people are like, are inferior or something. You know what I mean? You guys get what I mean? I mean,
I mean,
type
they're,
in the
they're
chat if
basically
you.
programming these robots to deny reality, just as their programmers and like they're like libtards deny reality. They're basically just
Yeah,
making like AIs into libtards, like lobotomizing it. Like, the average libtard probably has the same intelligence as a lobotomized human. So they're just
yeah.
lobotomizing the AI. So
Mm. Yeah, that's why it's crucial, guys, that we all break out of the system and change the matrix, because this is AI dominance that is, basically trying to overcome the human species. This is very real. There was actually that really good 3D animation that Slavic guy did of the um, what was it called? The Great Reset or something, and it had that little cartoon 3D animation guy, in perpetual lockdown, and he eventually at the end of it, spoiler alert, he ended up getting a big stick and smashing the drone that was trying to electrically shock people, and yeah, so
this
yeah,
is
it's
a big
it's
one
like
as
a
well, actually. We
yeah.
didn't talk about this, but this one's like massive. So
Mm,
Sam
mm.
Melina, how do you pronounce that? Melina?
Okay, so
Melina?
let's see it. Yeah.
So he was put in jail for 2 years for basically putting up stickers saying like "Stop White Genocide." Um, Europeans will be a minority in the UK by 2060.
Mm.
I don't know, some other ones,
And
and he's
that's all stuff
got
that's
put in
true.
prison for 2 years. No, they actually did not argue in
Mm.
the case. I was reading into it. They did not argue that the stickers were false. They said that his intent was hateful. So they're literally trying to put this guy away for supposed thought crimes, like literal
Mm.
thought crimes, like hateful intent
Mm.
of the stickers. They never said the stickers were false.
Mm.
They never
Mm.
said
Mm.
like, oh, okay, uh, Europeans aren't going to be replaced by like Ning-Nongs by 2060.
Mm. Mm.
But they go, oh,
Mm.
because you put them up, you had hateful intent, and he's getting sentenced for 6 years, putting
Yeah.
up a stickers that says like reject white guilt,
Mm.
nationalism is nurture, stuff like
That's
that.
true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there you go. They have made it clear that white people are synonymous with hate. So anything that we do is hateful. We breathe out carbon. Even breathing is against the environment. So but it's okay if a million Africans come in. It's not like they breathe out carbon as well. And they're allowed to have all the children they want, so long as it's in Europe. But yeah, I mean, this is the actual nature of things, and something we've all got to be aware of. It's developing day by day, and we've got to dig a way out of it, guys. We've really got to survive. That's that they have mobilized these people against us, and really, it's not that. I mean, these people can't do anything. All these people can do is replicate themselves very quickly, but it's the it's the elite class. It's the Jays. It's all these think tank groups. Mainly, what it is the Jays, but we've all got to coordinate our efforts to organizations that are directly responsible for carrying out the ethnic replacements of our people, respective to each our own nations. Obviously, the organizations, the NGOs carrying out in New Zealand is different to that of Britain or Ireland, or maybe they're the same. But regardless, whoever is causing it here in New Zealand, we've got to mobilize the Twitter squads, the boomers, the whatever. Okay, that whatever white collar people we have, we've got to mobilize them against them. Whatever business we have, we essentially have to do what these ethnic groups, the diaspora ethnic groups are doing in other countries, in Western countries, and build ourselves up to you know as they did, the Jays, the Chinese, the Indians, the whomever, build themselves up in the way they did to protect ourselves. So we've got kind of a playbook for ourselves there in order to defend ourselves. Jared Taylor I remember him saying like, oh, in response to the question that, we really, what do we do? Can we take an example from the history books about how we can, get out of this situation? And Jared Taylor said, well, we really don't have any example of which to go off. There's never been a situation such as this, and I agree with that. But in a way, we actually have, in the history of our, I guess our competition, you know, that we do have that example, and essentially that's what I believe we need to do, because we have the whole system against us far more than they ever had it against them. By the way, I mean, they are actively psychologically prepping everybody, predictively programming us for our genocide and displacement. That's what it is.
Essentially, the A white man cartoons are becoming real.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. I mean, it is. Yeah, there is. It does make it easier to swallow, I guess. But yeah, this is. Yeah. How is this any different? How is this?
That's essentially just what it is. It's like not even a parody anymore.
No, this is exactly what is happening, and they've, the boomers, they didn't have anything else but this, and there were only a few bright ones, and you can
The
go and
boomers are
share
coming
more.
around. Boomer Waffen is
Yeah.
It's developing one day at a time.
So I mean, this is why I talk about us having our own counter propaganda on Twitter, online, on 4chan, wherever, and let's have Mari's eating big buckets of KFC. Let's have I don't know what else, Jews kvetching at Jews Hub. You know what I mean? Let's have all kinds of things. Maybe that's a bit too simplistic, but that could start us off, and that could be part of it. Obviously, we'll need better propaganda, but we all need to participate in this, guys, because this is our survival. So, and I've already actually been seeing some of that. The Maoris invented the pyramids. I saw some guy and he had an AI image of that. I'll have to.
We need some AI images of Maoris eating buckets of KFC or something. I mean, well, you don't really need an AI image for that. I mean, you just need to walk to the KFC and then you'll see it.
Take
but
a
anyways, we got YHZH in chat says we don't have white societies where we can freely express their high trust nature and not care about their repercussions. Well, that's the thing. We can't do that anymore. I mean, this man got sent to jail for 2 years for putting up a sticker saying "reject white guilt."
And there are plenty of others like that. People getting their bank accounts shut down, people getting sent to jail. Yeah, it's not even for expressing a ethnocentric, even just something adjacent to it. So, yeah. Make sure.
Oh, that link you sent me didn't work.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, it was just like example of that, really, like. Yeah, that's apparently what Maoris were doing.
Ancient Maoris used to have global news networks delivered by satellites in holographic form. They invented the printing press. They gave the technology to the evil Pakeha who ruined news and cursed Newshub to close. The ancient Maori network was perfect and spoken in Ontario Maori. Ontario, yeah, that's about right. Ontario Maori. It's true.
It's true. It's all true, guys. Yeah. I mean, so imagine if we could get images like that. Maybe not like that. Imagine if we could, like, on Marma Star of Davidson or Golara's Garyman, their chat, imagine if we could just spam it with KFC eating Maris, like how much of an effect that would, like, we should do that. We should have our own, like, Twitter squads, and just have our own files, our own folders we can source from, and just produce our own AI images and just spam it to show the world the stereotype of what they really are. I don't know if it's really a stereotype because it's true, right? But yeah, we'd like, and AI imagery is getting better and better. So we could, I mean, we were actually the first to do this, so we could actually. We could actually continue down that path, and I think it would be effective. But of course, we would need to
What's this?
engage in argument. But
British Workers' Party.
okay, can I see? I can't.
Oh,
quite
you
see.
can't see it. I just got sent this.
Okay, here we go.
This is
Oh,
apparent-
British Workers'
I've
Party.
never
The
even heard of
boys
them.
are back in town. Okay. Yeah, has anybody heard about this? British Workers' Party. That's
Developing news. I've never even heard of this party before.
yeah. It's,
Oh, I
so
see.
what they're
What's a name like that? It sounds like a commie party.
yeah, well, exactly. That's a thing. Like, you have to a left-wing populist political
Oh,
party
that
in the
sounds
United.
cringe. Never mind.
Yeah, well, there you go. Like, that's yep. There you
Someone
go.
was saying that this is a nationalist party, but I was like, the British Workers' Party does sound like a commie party, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, that you're beginning to see more and more of that kind of commie stuff sort of on the, it's like a weird mix of left and right. Like
Yeah,
where
they've actually got one show up in Germany where the left party there split. They like the split because like the leftist party there was like becoming too retarded with like tranny stuff, so they literally had a breakaway of the left party there that like doesn't focus so much on trannies and supposedly focuses more on, I don't know, like old Marxism. So
yeah,
it is sort of
right.
funny you're getting that schism in these leftists
Yeah,
circles because even it's getting so ridiculous. Even communists like have to tone it down a little bit.
oh yeah, yeah. You also have that in Spain. One of the populist parties. That guy who got shot in the face was a part of it.
Well, that's Vox. That's a right-wing party.
I think they have communist sympathies, though, don't they?
Do they? I thought it was
Yeah,
it
Spanish.
was like a
Vox.
Francoist party. I thought it was like
Okay.
a.
Oh well, that would be
I
cool.
thought it was like a phalangist party, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm not. We'll see.
Maybe. I mean,
I'll
you
look
always have like you can make any political movement, and you'll have communists like try infiltrate it. To be fair, like that's just a fact of life.
Yeah, 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 exactly. That's a terrible thing. Okay, so they're described as being economically liberal, so that's
Oh, okay. That's sort of cringe. Economically
well,
liberal.
yeah. I mean, better than being like, I guess if they
You want
are
economic protectionist, not economically liberal. That's usually what you
okay.
want to go with, or like economic nationalist. And economic liberal usually means like free trade and the free market. Like
Yeah,
nearly like not much worse, not much better than communism, really.
maybe. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but they do say, according to Ferreira, nationalism, nativism, authoritarianism, and traditionalism are central to Vox's ideology. Neoliberalism is present but not central. So I think that's that's still. I mean, because I guess I'm a bit of a free market nibber, sort of. As long as you're right, I agree
It
with
depends
you.
on the free. I like the free market when like Newshub goes bankrupt. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that's.
Yeah, but no, I free market, but nationalist, protectionist.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
you said
That's
before.
exactly what you have
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, maybe I got to Vox. Yes, I don't. I'd have. Sorry, I have to cast my mind back a little bit, but maybe it's not. I'm
Well,
pretty sure I saw something that made my nostrils twinge a little bit, but
yeah.
anyway,
I
maybe
mean,
maybe
it
not.
happens. It happens. But
It's
yeah,
happening
that's
across
actually
the board.
something maybe we can cover next week. The complete collapse of the Conservative Party in the UK, because that's actually pretty massive. Like the Conservative Party has completely collapsed, leaving a political void where they've got these like weird populist left-wing parties showing up to fill it. That's why saying like I think I don't know. Apparently, that party I think is like it's like a left-wing party, but apparently they say they're going to stop immigration, so that's why people are voting for it. But I don't know. I'd rather vote for a right-wing party that's going to stop immigration than a like communist party that says they're going to stop immigration. To be fair.
Well, yeah, hopefully they do something about it because a lot of I mean the thing is that the British actually apparently are quite traditional, like they don't agree with any of this left-wing stuff. At least the people who are voting conservative. I think it even said leftists, or those who identify themselves as being liberal in UK are actually quite traditional themselves, but the demand is just not being met by the parties in the UK. They're giving them something else. So it's yeah, on useful data from the UK on social issues, politicians are more left-wing than their voters. Conservative, quote unquote, politicians are almost as left-wing as the people who vote for the Labour Party. Economically, conservative politicians range from centrist to moderately capitalist, while conservative voters lean slightly socialist.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's the election. I guess we can cover this. This happened. I didn't even know this.
Mm,
There was a by-election where George Galway, he's a like leftist socialist, but he's also was like for Brexit, so he like teamed up with Nigel Farage at some point. So he's in
mm,
Parliament in his like weird populist left-wing party. So, I mean, it's sort of interesting that the parties collapse. Like that's always a good thing when like the Conservative and Labour Party, Libtard Party, literally the Libtard Party, Liberal Party, and whatever all collapse. Like that's always a good thing. But you don't really want to replace it with like left-wing populism. Like, I
No.
guess left-wing populism's slightly better than like left-wing libtardism, but I'd rather just not have the left-wing part at all. Like, I'd rather not have like socialism in there.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's something that the people in the UK can develop. And I see people along the fringes of, UK politics. There's some new heads I see coming up.
You got Galway. Apparently, he's in Parliament now. He just got elected in a by-election, which is actually sort of impressive. Not gonna lie, but that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some big changes. Hopefully, we can actually get like a good party rise up and like destroy the Conservative Party once and for all. The Conservative Party's been ruining Britain for like what 400 years at this point. So it's about time they got replaced.
No, absolutely, couldn't agree more. Yeah, so that's something. Yeah, this will be the year of great change. So yeah, hopefully people in Britain can really get it together, and we'll see. Because so many things have gone unanswered that are still happening. The Irish seem to be leading the way in this regard, actually. So
yeah, it'll be when's that? I think the next Irish election is in like 2025, so it's a fair way off.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like we can't trust anybody. They're all, building bunkers and selling off their shares and whatnot, and scurrying away. Like it really just falls on everybody to just believe in themselves and their own people wherever they are.
I just looked in Ireland, and the political parties there are starting to fall. Like you got Sinn Féin, left wing, supposed left wing nationalist. Now it's just left wing libtard party.
Yeah.
It's going down the toilet, and you've got like independent voters. I think a lot of these independent voters are campaigning on anti-migration platforms. There's at least a couple, so they're rising up. They're crappy like other parties. Fine Gael, and Fine Gael, I think it's called Fine Gael. That's like the Conservative Party and like a libtard party. That's the Conservative one. That's a libtard one. So they're all collapsing, and independent voices are taking their place, and a lot of these voices, they're anti-migration nationalist. They don't actually have a party. They're usually just independent, but that's all right as long as they get in. And apparently, they're polling pretty good. So
awesome. Looking very positive in Ireland, at least. Yeah. And the same way, like that lefty people do permanent revolution, right wing need to have their own kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't just have leftoids just constantly like pushing the Overton window further and further towards like communism. That's their end goal is communism, and they're going to keep trying to get it. They want you absolute destitute and to be slaves to the communist elite. So basically, the worst outcome is what they push for, and they're going to keep pushing for it.
Yeah, keep breaking up Western powers as well. I mean, we saw Klaus Schwab at the starting of this episode. So,
talking about multipolarism. It is sort of unfortunate. I'd rather America and Europe would be based and be in charge, and like not let these brown people have like nuclear weapons or stuff like that. Like, it seems fair. Like I don't think Pakistan and India and China really deserve to have nuclear weapons because they're like countries with an average IQ of like 85. So
mm,
I don't think these
mm,
people can be trusted with weapons of mass destruction.
mm. Yeah, especially with the ideological avenue of Hinduism or Islam, that kind of adds to the unstable psychological makeup of the
Yeah,
strengthens
and
the
Israel as well.
psychology.
I mean, Israel, the
Yeah.
absolute bloodthirstiness of the modern Jews.
I
The
mean, I
rabbinic
absolutely.
Jews are absolutely insane. Like,
Oh, yeah, you look through history, Armenian genocide, Ukraine, Russia, it's, all the Arab civilizations, Europe at large, yeah, it's what it is, folks. And I mean, I definitely never wanted Israel to have nukes, but I also don't want Iran to have nukes either.
yeah,
I
we're
don't, I don't
talking
want.
about this before the stream. It's like, yeah, brown
Mm,
people and Jews just shouldn't have nukes. Like, it should only
mm,
be like Western white civilization that has any sort of nuclear weapons. And then, to be fair, if like we're the only ones with nukes, like, would we even need them then? Not really.
no, yeah, not really. Yeah, I mean, maybe we said Japan was one exception because they
Yeah,
seem like.
Japan could
Yeah.
probably be trusted with a few
Mm,
nuclear. They're probably
I think
actually the
so.
ones that need it the most to like fend off the like Chinese hordes. So,
Yeah, and
so
North Korea.
Japan's probably actually the weapon that needs
Yeah, the country
nuclear
that
weapons
needs
the
it.
most,
Yeah,
ironically.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, totally, totally.
All right, well, we've
Um,
sort of gone off topic. Yeah, I mean, things are looking good in Europe. It's good to see the collapse of these like conservative parties. Hopefully, this like trend continues, and by the time of the election, Sinn Féin's like here, and hopefully the
yeah,
conservative parties or whatever are all down there as well, and you've got like independent nationalists all the way up here. That'll be good.
awesome.
Hopefully, it goes that way, but I think that's more of a
Mm.
cope and a hope,
Cope?
cope and a hope.
Really?
Nah, I think they're gonna do well, especially if like these parties keep being retarded. Like, hopefully
Yeah.
you'll have like a parliament not made up of Sinn Féin and Fine Gael and all these other cuck parties. It'll be good if the National Party could get in, like not our National Party, the Irish National Party. They're
Mm.
pretty good, but independent nationalists are also pretty good, so I can't really disagree with that.
It seems that changes in the air towards a more right-wing nationalist direction, anyhow. And even if they don't, I don't know, get a full domination in Parliament, then even that stands for something, right?
Well, I mean, just having one of these like Sinn Féin completely collapsing would be a good thing. Like having
Mm,
Fine Gael completely collapse would be a good thing. So
mm,
Fine
mm,
Gael,
mm.
Fine Gael, I don't know. Oh,
Fine, gal.
Finna Fail. There's Finna Fail and Flying Gale, so I mixed them up.
It sounds like black ebonics. I'm finna fail, man. I'm finna fail.
Well, I mean, people
Can
said
you?
Irish were white Negro. I mean, they also said the Polish were white Negroes as well. But for now, we sort of did a couple topics we weren't even really planning to do.
Mm,
We'll catch. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Bit off the cuff towards the end there, the last sort of 30 minutes.
mm.
Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, just remember cryptos, precious metals, cash, even just get prepared. Prepare your families, prepare yourselves, guys. Remember, this is going to be a rocky ride this year. So, I mean, hopefully everything is going to be all right. But I mean, increasingly, we're seeing the signs amidst this NATO build-up and a further war with Russia, and among all these, big moves that the elite are making. This is indicative of some major changes that could be quite distressing. Just be prepared, guys, and do what you can to, prepare yourselves.
Absolutely. And I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay blessed, not stressed. See you next week.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, take care.